hello there and well, yeah, you heard me correct, 2021. So I got some of that stuff done, and it is 2025. So it feels really nice to get them off my to-do list and know that they're done. I have this thing which I am going to release out to you guys too. It's just very basic. It's very editable, very free. It was the most basic thing. And I'm one of those people, I love my digital calendar, right? It's great because it's always with me because our phones are always with us. However, my phone is also a distraction, and I know that. I know that when I get on my phone, suddenly the next thing you know, I'm reading an article on LinkedIn or on Facebook, or I'm checking an email, or somebody's texting or calling. And I can get really easily distracted, and I know that about myself. So while I'm sometimes going in there just to look at my calendar, next thing you know, I've down a rabbit hole, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Why was I on my phone in the first place? Oh yeah, my calendar. And I take another 2 or 3 detours before I get there. So I really love my Sundays for the fact that now they continue to evolve, right? Like for me, Sunday is the end of the week. I know for some people it's the beginning of the week, but for me, mentally, physically, emotionally, it is the end of a week. And Sunday for a long time meant this thing to me. It was this Sunday, self-care Sunday, and it was all about taking care of myself. I really needed to schedule it onto a calendar, or else I was gonna take care of myself. That's how not taking care of myself, how much not taking care of myself was in my default setting. I think a lot of you moms, caregivers, empaths out there, I think you can relate to that, where everybody else's needs just are so pressing, and even like their needs hurt, like they hurt, you're hurting. And so it was really easy for me to basically just neglect myself. And I did that really well for a long time, and until I did stop. And for me, like making an extreme change, sometimes, as much as I talk about like it's small things, like extreme change is like what startles my system sometimes, but then the consistency is to continue to do it. And then once you have the habits established, you're able to be a little bit more adaptable, right? Like I even talk about on here, when I first started my intermittent fasting, I was very rigid. I was very like, this is it. This is when I can't eat. Nope. It's 8:59 in 20 seconds. I can't eat anymore. It was done. I'm a little more loosey goosey now, because I can be, and I want to be at this point in this time of my life right now. Like I said, I'm exploring. I was so, intense a lot of times, and my intensity and my care for myself again went one way that sometimes I realize now that I neglected some of my relationships, and I really do like eating. So I really do enjoy breaking bread with people and exploring new cultures and cuisines, and really indulging in some of the things that I love and not feeling guilty about it. And so I love that I'm in a happy and healthy place with food now, whereas before food was this love-hate relationship with me, and it was like I loved to eat it, but I hated myself after and during. And now I'm like, I don't care, and I feel sad because I hear like Chris, well, if he eats something or does something, I'll hear his, I shouldn't eat this, I don't, it's like there's so much of this pressure on himself. And again, this is his story, his thing. I'm not gonna, he'll figure it out, or he won't, whatever, however he does it. So but like I say, anyways, that's a side point. But I'm in this place now where taking care of myself is important. And part of my Sunday, I really like to devote some time to cleaning up my room, vacuuming, dusting, getting Monday set to start right. Something momentous for me is a Monday. A Monday is a fresh beginning. I talk about this often, where like I believe every time we go to sleep and we wake up, we're reborn. We have a new chance at life. Here we are, here's this opportunity. What are we going to do with it? We can't do anything. I know so many times we're like, no, we can't. Like literally, I can go right now, get my credit card. I mean, these things are like fake money. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like, oh, it's just funny money. I'm not seeing it. It's not like I'm dishing it out, right? Like it comes down, but I could. I'm not saying it's a responsible thing to do. I'm not saying I should do it. I could go call up a cruise company and book a year trip on a cruise on my credit card. I could do this, right? I don't know how much of your strips, so I actually don't know if my credit card balances are going to handle that. But, you know, just in theory, we think we can't, like so many things we say, we can't do this. And yeah, maybe it's not the most responsible thing to do when you have a 17-year-old minor living in your house that you're really trying to enjoy the last year of his life with. Not last year of his life, but oh my gosh, I didn't mean like that, like last year of his like childhood life. Okay, gosh, oh my gosh. And you know, I'm trying to really get that experience and time with him. And yeah, so I wouldn't personally do that, but I could. And you know, I could just pack up and leave. I could, you know, yes, there are consequences and repercussions to your decisions, but you can do a lot more than you think you can. So if you can do these crazy, you know, outlandish things that may sound like outlandish to you, you can do the things that are smaller and simpler and feel a little safer and more comfortable in you, like taking a self-care Sunday to nurture yourself and discover the things that bring you joy, discover what it is to eat on demand for you, and not have to worry about everybody else in your party, what they want to eat, where they want to eat, what time they want to eat. It was this sense of autonomy in a sense, like where it was like I could really separate from everybody else in order to find myself. And I think that that's such a beautiful gift that I have given myself, and I really encourage you to do it to yourself. If you're already taking care of yourself and you don't need something called self-care Sunday, every day first off there should be some form of self-care, whether it be meditation, you know, extra long moisturizing, a walk, any of these things. You are the definer of what your self-care looks like. It could be going to salon, but it doesn't have to be. A lot of times I thought self-care meant I needed to be getting a massage, I needed to be going and getting my nails done or my hair done. But listen, here's the truth. I haven't had my hair done in like 4 or 5 years. I don't get my nails done very often. I did around Christmas time. Actually didn't really like the job that the people did. It was really shoddy and chipped like literally the day after. And so sometimes, especially in the spring, I do like to get my toes done, and I love a good foot massage. So I will never skimp on that opportunity if it presents itself. But self-care isn't all about going and getting a massage. Like sometimes we, you know, finances, especially right now, it's a tough time in the economy. Maybe our finances aren't there, and self-care means you're giving yourself a pedicure. Like self-care means you're taking a little bit longer of a soak in a tub, or, you know, whatever that is. Maybe self-care for you is having a glass of wine. I don't know what self-care looks like for you. And I think, you know, for me, I also didn't know what self-care looked like for me, because I, again, had these preconceptions of what it was before I started to explore. And like I said, my therapist gave me a sheet and was like, what are these self-care things you do? And I said, none. You know, self-care could be going out to lunch by yourself. Self-care can be going to a movie. So, you know, there's so many different forms of it. I'd love to share that too. But anyways, I go back to what I was saying, back to my Mondays. Mondays are magical for me. Mondays are this reboot of a week. And every time I go to sleep, I'm reborn. It's like every single Monday is a reboot of a year. I get 52 of these in a year, and of a week. Reboot of a week within the year. So I get 52 chances at this. And I love to start my week right. I love to start my week like with a full tank of gas versus on E. There were so many times when I struggled with my own self-care and I was making this transition and things were difficult. And I didn't always understand that in order to find me, a part of me needed to die. Kind of like, you know, like a butterfly, you know, where it's like this caterpillar is going to go through this transformation, and the caterpillar is nowhere, it's going to be a butterfly. And I don't know the whole science behind it. Is it two different things or is it still the same? Did one turn in the other? I don't know. But it's a difficult process. Like I said on here before, I thought it would be a fun activity, and I ordered these butterfly nets and these butterfly things. And it was cool and all, until all of a sudden it was a bloody show. And I was like, where did all this blood? I didn't even know a caterpillar could bleed. I did not expect this. And the kids were freaking out. And I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Traumatizing my kids here, myself. I'm like, what am I going to do with all these things now? And yeah, it was all fun and dandy until everything started bleeding everywhere. And we explained this. There was no disclaimer for that in the package. But transformation is difficult, and in order for that transformation to happen, some things need to die. Some things need to get cleaned out. So like my room, I love to have my room clean. Right now, it was clean this morning. I don't know. It looked like a World War II, like, or somebody was looking for something in a crime office and there is paperwork everywhere. But I have good news. I have good news. So I was telling you on here, I had this, I've been on here decluttering, getting rid of stuff. And especially now that I am kind of coming to terms with this house in which I've lived in for over 20 years, I just signed an 18-month lease. And in 2026, that lease is going to be up. And I have a sneaking suspicion I'm probably not going to renew the lease. Probably not at least for another year. Maybe another year. I don't know. I doubt it. It's coming to the place in time where it's time to move. I've outgrown this place. I mean, I think I always had, but there was this sense of comfort and safety. And again, I put so many emotional ties to material things that, I had so many memories here. I have a wall that shows how tall my kids have grown, and I can't take that wall with me. This isn't my house, and it'll be here, and it's going to get painted over. And I'm realizing the house isn't the memories. The memories are everything I hold inside. The memories are seeing them grow up. The memories are going to be watching them play with their kids or nieces or nephews or other people's kids, and having these remembrances of me playing with them when they were kids. And so I'm coming to this place where I am no longer in need of holding on to all these things that I simply either don't need or no longer bring me joy. So I got through this whole cleaning thing. I was on here decluttering, telling everything. I got to this binder and I was like, had this moral dilemma. Do I sit here and read through and thumb through this entire binder because I was super organized with everybody's health and things, or do I just throw it away? It was for my auntie. She's passed away. What am I going to do with it now? Well, I make the impulsive decision, and I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to recycle it. I'm just going to put it right in the recycle bin. I'm not going to look at it. I don't have time. Bye, goodbye thing, and just let it go. Because I don't want to look through and start pulling things and going through the whole memory lane. And I just didn't want to do it, so I threw it all away. And then came a time where I needed some important documents. And I thought I knew where the important documents were, but they weren't there. And then I looked in other places I thought they were. And again, they weren't there. Then I looked in some more places, and they were not there. But then, oh wait, I found this other thing I was looking for about a year ago, and I guess that one wasn't gone. It is now found. So I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. I finally resolve I must have thrown these documents away when I threw away the binder. I'm irritated with myself, and now it's reiterating the fact that, oh, maybe I should hold on to more things. And I'm having this inner and outer dilemma where I'm like, no, we don't need to keep everything. And yeah, it's inconvenience. I'm now going to have to repay for these documents. It goes through the county, so it's going to take a long time. And that's just the way it's going to be. So finally on Thursday, I'm getting my things done. It's on my list. It was number 2 on my priority list because, as I was saying here, my whole point of this, I'll get to in a minute. I order them. I'm like, yes, off the to-do list. Another one bites the dust. So yesterday, I'm in the garage with Chris, and I just want a snack. I'm like, sometimes Sundays are for snacking, and I'm not hungry, but I just want a snack. And I don't know what this snack is miraculously. I was probably honestly dehydrated, but I just wanted to eat. So we go in the garage, and we're looking through the fridge, and we're trying to look through the pantries and see if there's anything that catches our eye. And we're like, we could have this, we could have this. Nothing was sounding good, but I wanted a snack. And I'm standing there, and suddenly, in the most rapid of speeds, a mouse runs by my feet. I scream. Ah! I'm like, freak out. Chris turns, he looks. At first he thinks it's going to be a spider. Then he sees this thing dart in, and he moves away, and I'm like, I'm out. I go back in the house, heart appetite gone, heart beating fast. I was like, what the hell? Like, we need to burn this house down now. There is a freaking mouse in the garage. And he is so bold as to run in front of my feet in the daylight, and then not daylight, it was nighttime, but in the light of the garage lights. Oh my gosh, I did not like this at all. So I'm sitting on the stairs, a little bit having a trauma attack. And I'm sitting there. Bless Chris's heart. He's setting up traps. He's cleaning things, moving things around, smushing things, trying to see if he can find this thing. Doesn't come out. I open the garage and I'm like, Lord, just let it have, this was your last chance. Get out. Go enjoy your life out there. This is my house. You're not paying rent. We're not having any stowaways in here. So I just put out in the universe that this mouse has found yet another house, not mine, because he is not welcome here. So bring up all the laundry, because we're not going to leave any laundry in the garage. No. I don't want anything running around any of my clothes or towels or anything like that. So we'll bring everything up and bring in this bag that, we had our bathrooms done. And so it was this bag. And, like I have so many of these like mini bottles for when we travel. And it was this bag full of like things that were under the sink that probably should just like save the time, not even look through and just throw away. But some of them aren't mine. Some of them are Karina's. So I put it in the bathroom. And so today I'm doing laundry again. And I'm not, of course, not leaving anything on the floor or anything to where they can get it, And I look over, and in this box, it wasn't exposed because there was this bag of toiletry items. And it was a huge Costco. It's a huge bag full of all these things that are under the sink that have accumulated. And I'm looking over, and there's like a fan on top. There's some electrical items on top. And I'm looking over, and I see a paper underneath. Like I see like a manila kind of like folder kind of like thing. I'm looking over. I'm like, what kind of papers would be in here? And I'm thinking to myself, and suddenly I look at the shape of the box. And this is an unusual box. We have a lot of Tupperware in the garage, but this box was different. And so I was like, I know that box. That box came from my uncle's house. And so all of a sudden my heart starts beating. I'm like, is that my box of documents I've been looking for? So I go over, I pick it up, I get the heck out of the garage because I am creeped out in there. Every time I go in, I'm like knocking on the door, like, I'm coming in. I'm letting you know, like, hide, go away. Do not run by me again, please. Opening the garage, it can run out, whatever it may be. So I go back inside with the documents, or the box of documents, and I'll be damned. Right there are the documents I'm looking for, right on, because they're different colors, so I could tell within an instant. And I'm like, hallelujah. Number one, I had so much relief that I didn't throw away. Then I'm calling the records, and I'm calling the county. I'm like, cancel my order. I don't need to be spending all this money on documents. I don't need another 10 copies of them. So I was very, very happy about that. And that just kind of helped set. In the Monday morning, I was doing some reset. I was ironically already cleaning out underneath the cabinets, getting rid of some stuff, organizing some stuff, putting in this cabinet, putting in that one. From when they did the stuff, there were still things kind of in disarray. So I say all this to say, for me personally, having some guidance, a calendar. I love a Sunday to sit down, and I made this Glow Up Method calendar, and it's the ultra basic. It's literally anything you could do in an Excel calendar, Excel spreadsheet, or Canva, or whatever it is. And, for me, what was really important was, number one, like, it's evolved so much, like, for being as basic it is. Like, I have on the top, like, 1, 2, 3, these are my priorities. And then I have the calendar. And so every time I'm looking at my calendar, those priorities are there. And if I don't get to them, they go to the next week. No shame, no hate. Like, I know my life is busy. I know my life is crazy. And I know sometimes I'm just lazy or tired or overwhelmed or whatever else is going on. And the production that I make isn't always visible to other people, but I know what I'm doing. So I'm not going to give myself any kind of slack for not getting to every single thing every single week. They just continue to move on. But I was so excited that all 3 of the items on my priority list got cleared off. And some of them have been on there a while. And I just love being able to handwrite on a Sunday and see what my week is going to look like as a whole, and see where the gaps are, see where there's space for me to, kind of tailor them to what things make me proud, what things I want to do. Like today was really important. It was a beautiful day. Spring just happened. Like it just turned to spring. And I mean, some of the streets are filled with these beautiful white flowers. Like I was telling Chris, I'm like, if I was ever to get remarried, like I'd want like a scene like this where there's just trees of flowers and you're walking down and it's just so beautiful. And there's probably a very small window of time and frame and then, but it just is just like one of those things. It's just so heavenly gorgeous to me. And, I love driving down. I love seeing it all. So it was really important today for me to get a nice walk with my son. I feel like we haven't had the opportunity to do that. Friday, I was out in this beautiful city, Nevada City. Please look it up. I guess it's like one of the top 10 in California, small cities. Loved it. They have like a lot of festivals. Like, I could see somebody like my daughter living there and like being the mayor and, or the committee of, special events and, doing all those things, because it had that like small town feel. And I always like to, when I go to a new city, think like, could I live here? What would my life look like? And it was one of those places where I was like, I probably could. It was far out of, the things, but it was like, it wasn't bad. Like, it was kind of cool. So, I didn't get to explore everything I wanted. Actually, I got to explore very little because I was afraid of the car. But I did get a lot done. And so it provided me with a lot of clarity. It provided me with a lot of accomplishment and just thoughts of thinking, where will I be in my next chapter, my journey? And the sky is the limit. Everywhere has such a unique, touch and influence on you that you're in. So for me on this Monday, what I really want to talk about is reminding you to schedule your life. So many times I did not schedule my life. And so this is why this calendar means so much to me. My life was scheduled by everybody else, whether it be their soccer or their cheer or their school or their work or whatever it is. It was like I built my life around everyone, and I still do that a lot because I have flexibility. So like my instructor, I build my life a lot of times around his classes, right? But I'm learning now to prioritize the classes that I like the best. I may like him as an instructor and I may love the community that he has created within there, but some of the classes don't necessarily connect with me and bring me the utmost joy. And so I feel like that time is better utilized doing other things, and that's okay. This last week, he was gone for a few days, and I survived. I didn't miss the classes like I used to. It was for me, for a little while, it was this new place where I felt like home. It was this thing that I didn't know what to do without it. And it's interesting because I have this younger friend who's newer to the gym than I am. I think she's been there a little over a year now. And it's the same thing. It's like, I can't imagine not being there. And it's almost this like this dependency on this class. And what I'm realizing now is there's so many places in which we can find joy and happiness. And yes, of course, like if you have something that brings it out in you the most, that is great. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But understand, it's a big, beautiful world out there. There's so many different things to explore that you never know what you may suddenly find passion and joy in, even if you've tried it before and didn't like it. Have you ever done that with like a food? Like, oh my gosh, no, I've tried Brussels sprouts and I hated them. And then you suddenly try them again. You're like, wait a minute, like these are my new favorite thing. And I'm going to go to 10 different restaurants and try their crispy, Brussels sprouts or whatever. Like I have done that. So I have to understand that. And I want you to understand that we are changing every day. We are reborn every day. And so we have these new opportunities to experience the world differently. We are different than the last time we went to sleep, like it or not. Our cells change, the circumstances of our life change. It alters us. Sometimes ever so slightly. Something's really big. Some things are going to change us a lot, right? Like you have a surgery or, there's, a significant passing in your life. Like a relationship ends, like a relationship begins, like there's so many different things that influence us in our lives. So we are changing. Be open to that growth. Understand that your transformation journey is not always going to be smooth, but stick with it. Like there is magic in it. And where that begins is understanding who you are. And where that begins is really learning that you are the master of your time and your schedule. You create the opportunities and experiences you want from you, not just in reaction to what everybody else wants. If you don't make a plan for your life, I'm telling you, somebody else will. So I say all this to say, I'm so glad you tuned in today. I hope you followed along. I kind of was everywhere a little bit over here. It's been a few days without filming. I've missed you guys dearly. I'm really excited to be wrapping up a lot of these things that have been a lot of loose ends that I haven't wanted to address. They've been these weights weighing me down because I just didn't know how to get through it. And it was a transition and I didn't want to make the wrong decision. And what I'm learning is now is the right time for everything. I have the confidence to know that making a decision is the best decision I can make. Is it always going to be right? Am I always going to save the most amount of money? Am I always going to, have the best outcome? No. I'm confident in that. The answer is no. Will I get it right a lot of times? Yeah, absolutely. Of course. So to be married to the result is everything against what I'm teaching here. What I'm saying is enjoy the journey. I understand that my growth is what is most important. I understand if it wasn't for every situation that I encountered with Chris, then in the past and then what I'm encountering now, I would never be where I am. I would have never prioritized getting this stuff done, and it would continue to linger on in the back of my mind, consuming time, energy, financial resources for no reason. We are moving along. Glow Up Method is all about growing up and glowing up together. So I say all this to say, please, number one, go out there today and give yourself a big smile. You deserve it. And yeah, maybe today's a tough day and you may never see anybody else smile, but at least you can smile and say, you did it, girl. You got through it. It was hard. Or maybe it was a great day. And you're like, you know what? I love that you appreciated every moment of this beautiful day. For me, I'm going to say, you know what, Natasha, I am so proud of you for having your own personal joy and loving the things that you love and really making sure that you tell the people in your life that you care and love them and you show up for them the best way that you can. And that includes yourself. And so then I would love for you to please go out there and give someone else your big, beautiful smile and share with them a compliment. It could be something so simple, so easy, but you don't understand how deeply you impact their lives by just noticing something kind about another person. And then you will see just how they glow up and you will be glowing up with them. So I love that. I hope you have a great day today. Mwah! Bye.